What's up friends, the Nerdy Filmmaker here, and today we're looking at the piece of budget equipment I use the most, the Neewer 660 RGB LED light. So if you've been following this channel for a little bit, you know that I've done a video on an older version of this, the Neewer 660 bicolor light. And I encourage you to go check that out afterwards. We kind of took a bit more in-depth look at the softbox that comes along with the light. But I upgraded to these guys, and all of the issues that I had with the original light have been fixed. So let's talk about what comes in the package if you get one of these lights. I got the 2 light package, and so that comes with 2 of these LED lights, 2 barn doors, and 2 soft boxes to go along with it. It also comes with 2 light stands, and all of that fit within a carrying bag. And before continuing with this video, you should actually know that the second panel that I got is what's lighting me right now. So I have one of these panels set up on a boom arm right over the camera, giving me a top light, a little clamshell lighting. So just like the previous model, this light is made up of 660 LED lights. The main difference between this light and the previous light is this actually has the entire RGB spectrum, which we'll take a look at. But let's give it a little spin around and take a look at the back over here. So you'll see this thing jutting out over here. It's because I'm actually running on battery power. I got 2 of these batteries, and it does in fact work with a single battery in there as well. I have my second battery in that light. And so this can work with both like direct AC power or with battery power. So I'll switch it on to that, and now you see the screen pop up here. And we've got 2 different knobs here, one that's affecting the color temperature and one that's affecting the brightness. That was a huge issue with the original bicolor light, is the fact that one knob was for daylight LEDs and the other knob was for the tungsten LEDs. And so if you wanted to change the brightness, you were actually also affecting the color temperature. Not anymore. Those 2 knobs are separate. So you have a display over here that's showing you the percentage power and the color temperature. And if you're in color temperature mode, it goes from 3200 all the way up to 5600. All right, so that's gonna give you a tungsten all the way up to daylight. Now there is also a mode button over here that you can use to cycle through the color temperature settings, or you can get into the color mode, which is where you can change your hue and saturation. And then finally, there are special effects modes like party. Whoa, I should leave this on for the rest of this video. Oh boy, I'm turning that off. So I'll spin this back around and turn it down to its lowest power. And from here on out, I'm actually going to be controlling these lights using the built-in app. So I actually just got this app recently and started testing it out right before this video. And so far, it seems very intuitive. I think that there's been a lot of negative reviews about this app, but I think a lot of that happened probably prior to some kind of update they did, because so far, so good. So you'll see right here, I actually have my one light already in there. That's the one that's lighting me from above. So I'll show you how easily you just click add device. I'm connected by Bluetooth, and it's going to find the second light over here. Or is it? And there it is, RGB 660. So I just click that, press OK, and now it is added to my devices. So you have your brightness and your color temperature. Then you also have your saturation mode. And then finally you have your special effects. Oh my God, I am so sorry about that. Let's put that back to party. And in each of these, you have 2 kind of settings you can switch back and forth between. So let's say I was in the color temperature mode and I wanted to have one setting that was bright daylight, like that, I'll put it up to 100%, but then I wanted a second setting that I can quickly switch to that is like the tungsten lighting indoors. There you go. And now if I switch back to 1, it goes to that, back to 2, back to that one, all right? And to give you an idea of the light that's on me right now, let's go to that setting. So that is 100% at 4900 Kelvin. So as I adjust that, you'll see the brightness on me go down a little bit there, and then this is 100%. And then if we were to go to more of a daylight look, or if we want to go full tungsten, you might notice that as I scroll this, it is brighter in the middle, and it's because at, let's say 4500 Kelvin there, all of the LEDs are at their full power. Now that's something that's a slight downside to this, is that It's brightest in the middle, and at the extremes is where there's the problem. So if I go all the way up to 5600, all of the tungsten LEDs have turned off. Now that means that we're getting basically half the amount of power that we could be getting. And as soon as we nudge over to 5500 Kelvin, those LEDs turn on. So there's a big jump in color consistency between 55 and 5600 and 32 and 3300. Now you might not notice it in this current setup, but it is quite noticeable to the eye when you're in the space. Now I'm just gonna turn this away from you while we go through some of the effects that are available in this light. So first off, we have the cop car, very nice. We have an ambulance, I assume that's what they look like, and then a fire engine. Switching over, we have candlelight, very romantic. We have party, my personal favorite, and fireworks. And then lastly, we have lightning. It's a bit predictable, but there you go. And then you have paparazzi. Oh my God. And a screen, a display screen. So there you go, a few different kind of special effect options that come with this. So what are some of the benefits and the downsides of this light, and in what situations are they perfectly suited for? Nope, ignore the four. Well, first off, these are very portable lights. They're quite light, and so packing them away into the carrying case that comes with the bundle means that it's a very easy way to transport it to location to set up for a small, let's say, interview session. And that's really where these lights shine. These lights are great for a small talking heads video. So right now, this light is at 100%. It does have the softbox on it that's cutting some of the light. You imagine that if there was any kind of a bigger scene, it'd be really hard to use this to light anything that's further away or to light a room. It's really meant for, let's say, fill or key light on close-up shots, or it can be used as kicker lights or hair lights. But past that, you can't be lighting an entire room with this. Settings like this, these are perfect lights for YouTubers, for actors doing self-tapes, for online course videos, anything like that. These lights are fantastic. Sticking with the idea of that color accuracy problem, these lights are also really great if they are the only light source you're using for a YouTube setup like this. They're not the most color accurate lights, so combining them with, let's say, daylight, you might notice a slight tint to it. I believe it's on the green side, so there'll be a slight green tint if you're combining it with daylight. Some of you might not really care about that, but for any kind of like filmmakers out there who are looking for color accurate, you should probably know that it's hard to mix these with daylight. Another downside with this, actually with the barn doors and how the LED lights are laid out on the panel, is that as you close the barn doors, they create these harsh, jagged shadows as the barn doors block certain LEDs. So the diffusion inside here is not strong enough to help eliminate the individual light sources. So that's a downside to that. It would actually be a lot better if you use, let's say, the softbox and then use a flag to cut the light spilling onto the background. Finally, if you are familiar with the previous bicolor light, or you'd watched my review, you know that one of the issues I had was the fact that you couldn't put the softbox on the light if it was on a light stand vertically like this. There was no way for the softbox to wrap around it. Well, as it's set up now, we still have that issue, but what you can do is unscrew it, because now they've introduced another way to mount through here. You can plop it down like that. Let me raise that so I don't hit my desk. And now, if you removed the barn doors, you would now have the clearance on the back of the light and underneath the light to attach the softbox and use the Velcro all the way around. So that's it, friends. I quite like these lights. Now, they're definitely not the most professional high budget lights, but that's not what they're trying to be. These offer a really, really great solution for at-home creators or for creators who are on the move, who need a portable light kit that they can set up quickly and easily. I would highly suggest, if that's what you're going to be doing, to get some of these batteries as well. I'll leave a link to the ones that I got in the description. I've been very happy with them so far. And in those situations, to actually avoid using the power cords because they're very short. So that's it. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I would love to answer them. I hope you all have a fabulous rest of the day. Goodbye now. Wow! All right, that's enough of that.